afternoon update. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I hope that everyone had a very peaceful Easter weekend and that individuals are still celebrating Passover. So again, thank you very much for joining us. I want to talk about a number of issues today. One, we just finished up with the Emergency Policy Group meeting. It was at 1:30 today, a virtual meeting. And for those of you who aren't aware, the Emergency Policy Group oversees any emergencies in our county. And it consists of 3 county commissioners, the sheriff of Hillsborough County, Chad Chronister, the mayor of Plant City, the mayor of Temple Terrace, the mayor of Tampa, and a school board member as well. And then it's overseen by the county administrator, Mike Merrill. So we had a meeting today, had a lively discussion on a number of issues. One was that there was a great deal of concern that there were large gatherings throughout the county every evening, during the day as well, but really concerning during the evening, large groups of young people getting together. And the 2 elements that have been proven to flatten the curve very, very effectively are the social distancing and then also wearing face coverings. And so, making sure that we're looking at both of those elements. So the safer at home, getting people to stay in their homes and not be out in the public, and specifically not being out in large gatherings. So as a result of the reports on these large gatherings, we voted to enact a curfew that will be 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. in the morning. And in essence, you can still go do the essential things that you need to do, whether that's going to a pharmacy, to a grocery store, getting something to eat, those types of things. But in essence, was passed to address those large gatherings that are out in the community. Quite often, young people gathering in the groups, and as we've talked about several times in the past, that quite often young people can have the virus and really have no idea that they're infected. But they can take that back home into a multi-generational living situation, or take that back into a home where there are individuals that have other health concerns and they can infect those that can least afford to have this virus. And so that is something that we want to address. Of course, as we've talked several times, the danger in this virus, one of the main dangers of it is the fact that it's so easily transmitted and that it's quite often silent. So if we are passing this virus, it can take anywhere from 3 days up to a couple of weeks to be able to see the result of that. So bottom line is, stay at home. Stay at home and avoid that contact with other individuals. As far as the face coverings, we're going to socialize that issue, and by that I mean we're going to publicize it out into the community, talk about how you can make those face coverings at home. Really, anything is better than nothing, even if it's a fishing buff, something along those lines that you can put on your face whenever you are going to the grocery store, to the pharmacy, anything that will bring you into contact with others out in the community. So sort of keeping that whole issue simple as well. We talked about the essential service provision and essential jobs. And I try to simplify that very easy by saying if the task you perform or the service or the job that you have, you can distance yourself 6 foot or more from others, then that could be deemed essential. Just trying to simplify it. Same thing with the face covering. If you have to come in closer contact with individuals or in any public setting, please wear some type of a face covering. We intend to vote on that as an order, in addition to our EPG orders on Thursday, and then put it into effect on Thursday as well. So if anybody has any questions about how you can make one of those or what can be used for it, check our webpage and we'll have that on there, tampagov.net. So very, very important. Also, just reminding everybody to stay in touch. My mom is in a retirement community, and they're not allowing anybody to come in and visit. So, just trying to stay in touch with your loved ones through Zoom, through FaceTime, whatever way you can, make sure that they're still having that social contact and that you're not estranged from your loved ones or your friends. Find ways to connect. And also, as I always say, we want to make kindness as contagious in our city as this virus. Remember to be kind. There are so many individuals that have literally had the rug pulled out from under them, lost jobs and businesses, having family members moving home, just all kinds of adjustments that we've had to have. So just remember to have a little bit of patience and be kind. I talked about this morning. We have a daily call amongst all of our city employees, and I reminded them, to tell their team members to bring that extra dose of patience with them, because people are stressed out and anxious right now because of the changes and the effects that this virus has had on their lives aside from the health concerns. And so we all just need to be kind and make sure that we're reaching out to those in your neighborhood that may need assistance, or that you may work with, or your loved ones that you're not able to be in physical contact with. So incredibly important. I was at the Feeding Tampa Bay, one of their sites. They have several around the Tampa Bay area. And I was helping pass out food on Saturday at Hillsborough Community College. And one of the things that the CEO and I discussed when I looked at the line of cars, pulling in to get these supplies, I said, a lot of the people in this line getting supplies would have been volunteering here in any other circumstance. So this is something that has really affected our community very widely and broadly and deeply. So we're all in this together is the bottom line. So we need to make sure we're helping each other out. Okay, and speaking of fun, if you guys didn't see my Easter video, I made an appearance with the Easter bunny, which was very large to say the least, but it was a lot of fun. But we still having our dance party every evening. The videos and the photos are just nothing short of hilarious to see everybody out there dancing and having fun. So make sure you continue that and get your friends all in on it as well, and your family. Great way to communicate with them. But we have the karaoke dance party at 6 o'clock every night based on our relationship with iHeartRadio. Incredible group of people. You can tune in to 93.3 FLZ, Mix 100.7, 95.7 The Beat, Roomba 106.5, 98 Rock, or US 103.5. 6 o'clock, be there. Make sure you take videos, you take photos. You can send them all to @CityOfTampa, or you can hashtag HappyAtHomeTPA. So we want to see all those videos and pictures because they're very, very entertaining. Okay, case update. We have 790 total coronavirus cases in Hillsborough County. Those have increased because a lot of the tests are starting to come back in large numbers. Matter of fact, Dr. Holt from the health department told us that they got 50 positive case returns in one day. So we have had 16 deaths in our community, and each one of those 16 individuals, and there's a family behind every one of those people. It's somebody's mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle. So 16 individuals. Think about that have lost their lives because of this virus. And the reason I remind you of that is going back to that personal responsibility. We have to make sure that we keep that number as low as we possibly can. And we can all do that through the simple steps, social distancing, face coverings, and taking those disinfectant, simple steps of disinfecting. Florida has 20,601 total cases with 470 deaths statewide. All right, with those sobering statistics, I want to introduce our guest today, who is just a wonderful, I really didn't know Maggie before I've heard of you, without your reputation preceded you, but I had not had the pleasure of meeting you until we partnered on the homeless shelter. So I thank you for that. Maggie Rogers is our guest today, and she is the Executive Director of Catholic Charities. And she's been with the agency since 2013. Before that, she was a Director of Social Services with the Salvation Army in Tampa. So we have some questions for you. Are you at capacity? You have the ability to have 100 individuals at the homeless shelter, right?
We have 100 tents and we are full.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
we remain full. Any beds that turn over, we immediately fill the next day.
So you have a waiting list of individuals?
It's first come, first serve. We don't maintain a waiting list, mainly because we're bare bones staff. We've pulled staff from various other programs. I have staff that typically work in our Hernando and Citrus office coming to help out at the shelter, and our Pinellas shelter, they're coming over. But we do maintain a full bed list every single day. And it really is just a matter of how quickly the cleaning crew can get them cleaned and ready for the next round to come in.
Now describe the function for me. I've been out there several times, and it really is an exercise in efficiency. I tell you what, you guys really did a great job. So just for those viewing, sort of walk them, give them a virtual tour.
Yeah, we were fortunate to have Pinellas Hope in Pinellas County, and we've been doing that for 12 years. And so when we were asked how we could help the homeless, as people are being asked to stay at home and stay safe, there's a large population that don't have a home to go to, and so their services were diminishing. And the question is, well then, how quickly can you get this up and running? And there was no strategic thought behind it. I threw out 100 beds, and I could probably get it up and running in 7 days. It was not strategic, but we pulled it off. We have all the things in place, and we opened in 7 days. And it really is, we have, a check-in table, a bag check table, we have a charging station table, we have a smoking area section, we have just a resting section for those that don't smoke. And then, it's like med calls at 8:30 in the morning, 8:30 in the evening. We have meals that are at specific times every day. And it did take us a few days to get work out the little kinks, but now we're up and running, and it seems like it's going much smoother.
And let's talk about the volunteers and how everybody brought this together, because I know that there's showers, portable showers, there's laundry service, there's medical assistance. So, and all of that has been donated. So let's talk about, because this is the part that really warms my heart, is the way that our community comes together to take care of an issue.
It certainly couldn't be done without everybody else having a part in it. So the first couple days, it was my staff from Pinellas Hope that are probably experts in putting up tents. So in 2 days, we put up 100 tents.
It would take me 2 days to put up one tent.
I was actually very impressed. We videotaped them doing the first one. I was like, wow, you guys are good. Like we could do this. We did 70 the first day and then 30 the second day. So they are pretty efficient. And then, so at Salvation Army has a shower there. Baptist Disaster Recovery has another shower facility there. I partnered with Catholic Charities USA in Washington, D.C., and we hired a trucker to go up and get their laundry truck and bring that back down to us. The city has provided us with 10 porta potties and 2 hand washing stations. And then meals. Breakfast is a collaboration of Castor's and then several of the Catholic churches, Corpus Christi, St. Timothy, St. Lawrence, Sacred Heart has pitched in to help provide the breakfasts in the morning. And then lunches are from Feeding Tampa Bay, and Trinity Cafe is preparing those for us. And then dinners are from Metropolitan Ministries, a bag dinner.
And then how about Ashley Furniture donated all the beds?
Ashley Furniture donated all of the beds. The amazing amount of donations that we've received at our Tampa office with toiletries. And it seems like if I ask one day, like, hey, we're really short on towels, then the next day I have a ton of towels showing up at the Tampa Center. If it's, we're short on toothpaste, then I suddenly have toothpaste, so the community has been great.
And then isn't Baycare providing free medical
So
care?
I have Baycare is on standby for any potential testing, and then I have pretty regular communication with them regarding any clients that we have questions on or possible health concerns.
Good. Yeah, it really is nice when, actually, the times that I've been out there, there's always been individuals coming to make donations. Now, you don't usually take donations at the camp. What's the
We don't,
address?
yes. It's
on Bush?
2021 East Bush Boulevard, and we're taking donations Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay, what's the biggest challenge that you feel?
Probably at first I would say just kind of getting into our groove. I mean, it was, you know, typically when you're building a shelter, you have time to get your process worked out, and you're hiring staffing, and you have all those kinks, and you think you know what you're walking into. Well, for us, it was how fast can you get it done, and though we were able to pull it off in 7 days, it was a lot. It was moving parts, like, you know, just like the table's not probably located at the best. We're going to have to move that. Surprisingly, people ask, you know, are the tents the issue? Is the heat the issue? And that really isn't our biggest challenge. I would say another challenge is because we have limited, for the safety of our staff, our clients, as well as our valued volunteers, we limit the amount of people that can come on to the site. So we really need meals that are like grab and go kind of meals, the ready to eat meals, that or the funds so that we can simply purchase the food so that we can just hand it out, because we do want our partners and our volunteers to be safe, as well as our staff and our clients.
I know my friend Pamela McCoy
She's
got in
been
touch
great.
with me, and
Yeah,
she came out and
she's there
set
a
up a coffee.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yellow Rooster Coffee have been absolutely wonderful to us. They're there 7 days a week, every single morning, 6 to 8 o'clock. They get there, they wake up. The owners, Tim and Stephanie, I asked them, what time do you get up in the morning? They're like, usually like 3:30.
Oh my goodness.
But they're there every single day to provide coffee to the clients and the staff, and they're just such great personalities. It means so much to us to have them there with us.
Good. Now, if you were, and I know it would be a guess, an educated guess, but how many individuals, if you had unlimited space, how many individuals do you think that you could bring in there?
The second day that we took in 64 the first day, and then we filled the remaining tents the second day, and we could have easily done 200. Wow. And we turn away people, unfortunately, every single day.
Yeah, that's and ironically, you and I have had this discussion that myself, Chairman Les Miller from the County Commission, and County Administrator Mike Merrill were set to tour Pinellas,
March 13th,
right? Pinellas Hope, in the thought that we could create a Hillsborough Hope over here, and that was canceled because of the virus. So hopefully we'll be able to get over there and see the great things you're doing there. Now, do you check everyone's temperature inside?
So we do a check when you first come into the program. We do a health screening. So it's a list of questions that we ask, as well as check your temperature. Then we have a nurse who is typically assigned to one of our, Catholic Charities has 3 medical clinics. So the physician's assistant comes to our facility 2 or 3 times a week, and then she works with the clients while she's there. And then off days when she's not there, we do checks on their temperature.
And let's talk about the service provision, because I know that your goal, just like Pinellas Hope, is to get individuals back up on their feet and back into being productive members of our community. So what services are we providing so it's not just giving someone a place to stay until this virus is gone?
Yeah, so, at first it was get up and running, get the folks off the street, and then provide them with the resources that were becoming less available to them. We have several people that checked in and they said, we're used to eating 2 meals a day and we haven't eaten in 2 or 3 days. We had several that checked in and said, I have not taken a shower in 2 weeks. So those services were, them having access to just clean water and being able to shower and, and hygiene and things like that were obviously, our number one priority. And then as we get them checked in and we start to see, what their needs are, we've been doing this for so long in Pinellas County. We know that homeless population, and so we know what their needs are from us. Nationally, we're above the national standard for moving people into permanent housing. We're almost at 50% at Pinellas Hope. And so we would love that opportunity here in Hillsborough County. But right now it's just getting to know our clients. What are their needs? Is it mental health? Is it substance abuse? Is it just income where they can afford to maintain housing on their own? And so we're in the process now of hiring additional case managers that will come on board and then start that process. We're then moving them to the resources that they need.
Good. So when I was with the police department, we implemented the homeless liaison officers. and we have 2 officers that are 7-day coverage, and just helping people get the services that they need. You know, sometimes the things that we take for granted, clean water, you know, the ability to get
Shower
food, have
every
food every day, or, you know, things that would be a minor inconvenience, a battery goes dead in our car, or, you know, something along the, or you lose your driver's license, could just be a frustrating inconvenience where it could be, you know, a life-changing event for
It's
other
detrimental.
individuals.
Yeah.
Right, and it really, if you haven't seen it or experienced it, people don't know what that can do, you know, sort of that living on the edge. Before we came on camera, you talked about you had 2 couples there that were working in the restaurant business, and you know they were fine until they lost their jobs, and now they're at this shelter being given the basic services that they need. And so that really is important. When I was out, the last time I was out there over the weekend, I struck up a conversation with a young man, and he started to cry. He said that he had been estranged from his family for 3 years because he had drug and alcohol issues, and that he had been reunited and been talking to his mother. And so, you know, again, being able to get those services, individuals oftentimes want help, they just don't know where to reach out to. Or, you know, you're on that edge and something happens and all of a sudden you're homeless. So it really is an incredible service that you're providing to, you know, those who are the most in need in our community. Very, very important. So what are some of the changes that you've seen? Have you seen in some of the individuals?
I would think that it's the sense of community that they're starting. They, you know, the first few days it was different for them. It's different for us. As a social service agency, you're used to immediately sitting down and saying, how can I help you? And here it's, we're getting you off the streets. We want to provide you with these immediate resources, but then you know, we have to also encourage social distancing. And so it's our case management and our social service, it feels different. It feels different to my staff. It feels different to them. You know, we're like, well, we're going to sit at the table together, but we're going to sit on opposite ends, and we're not going to be, you know, and so the communication, it did feel a little weird, you know, at first, and so now you can see that the clients are particularly the ones that have been there since day 1, day 2. You know, they're like, Miss Maggie, can we get the broom and can we go sweep that area? You know, can we? Do you need any help cleaning? Because they see that the staff, you know, we have 2 staff hired from 6:30 in the morning until 10 at night, and all they do is clean. That is all they do. They clean the bathrooms, the tables, the chairs, and it is a rotation. Any tents that become open, they disinfect those, and it's constant cleaning. Well, now clients are starting to see like, wow, you know, can we help? Do you want us to clean some of the chairs? Can we pitch in? So the sense of community, and then they have a lot of questions. You know, well, what's going to happen to us after? What does this mean when COVID-19 ends? What's going to happen then? But you can see the sense now that they want help, that they want us to be there for them.
That's nice, and that's too is that sense of self-worth that you are contributing. Very important. Let me know when you're holding elections if they're going to elect a mayor and a sheriff and all that good
I will
stuff.
for sure. I will for sure. There's always one. There's always one. So.
And that's the truth. So let the community know what your needs are, your biggest needs moving forward.
Yeah. I would think the grab-and-go meals is definitely our biggest need right now. Moving forward, you know, food can be quite expensive, and so when you're feeding 100 people every day, 3 meals a day, that could be quite costly. So I think the grab-and-go meals right now is our biggest need. Okay, excellent.
And how can individuals in the community, I mean, there aren't a lot of people that have the ability to bring 100 meals, so how can individuals help out?
The smallest donation goes an absolute long way. I mean, that is absolutely, you know, wonderful. And just the donations that we're getting at the Tampa, at the Bush Boulevard office, that's very, very helpful. You know, just your, you know, when you've been going to the hotels and you were going on vacation, you get the little toiletries of, you know, the toothpaste and stuff. Those are all going out to our 100. So
yeah, that is good. And then also clothes too. I know my boys are home from college during this, so I made them clean out their closets.
Yeah, men's clothes, men's shoes.
There you go. Yeah. And they took up and donated all of that. So, you know, those kind of things too, because you think about it, you mentioned earlier someone that hadn't had a shower in 2 weeks, so you take a shower and to be able to put on fresh, clean clothes, the difference that makes. Again, back to what we take for granted.
When we opened, the laundry truck hadn't been delivered yet. It was being delivered that day, and or I'm sorry, a few days later. And when the trucker was pulling in with the laundry truck, they started clapping. I mean, they were so excited to be able to do laundry. It was such a big deal to them.
That's nice. That really is wonderful. Now, do you have any plans to expand past the 100?
Not at that location. We don't have room to expand past that 100. Yeah.
Any place else? Looking at any other areas? Am I giving you a heart attack here?
I would love another area to expand. And I hope that we get to stay in Tampa permanently. I think that we have a great opportunity to serve a lot of people.
Okay, and I know that it's difficult to say what it costs because there are a lot of donations, and I know we're funding, and when I say we, I mean the city of Tampa through some of the grant funding that we have. What does it cost to run, say for the 30-day period that we're slated, what would you estimate the cost at?
Well, I will say this, I'm not sure about the 30 days. It's a little, we had to build a lot of infrastructure, so we had to bring in like electric and water, things like that you wouldn't typically have to spend every single month. So the upfront is a bit more expensive. Pinellas Hope, which is 220 to 260 beds, is about a $2.1 million project a year.
Okay. That's actually $2.1 million a year. When you look at the cost of jails, of emergency care, mental health issues,
substance
and everything
abuse,
else,
case management, and the fact that 50% of those that we serve are going to housing.
Right. And then, how many work over there in Pinellas? Because I know a lot of individuals have jobs and then they just come back at night until they have enough money for a down payment.
And I would probably say about 60 to 70% will have some source of income.
Excellent. That really is. I mean, and you look at that, somebody is getting their dignity back, that self-worth, being a part of the community. I think that's just absolutely wonderful. And especially with the service provision, because so many individuals suffer from substance abuse or mental health issues that can be controlled through therapy and or medication. And so, being able to avail themselves to those services can bring them back into the community. So do we have any other questions from the media or from our Facebook watchers?
No, just go into a little more detail about the curfew and your recommendation for facial coverings.
Okay, a little more detail about the curfew. So in essence, it is the same as the stay or the safer at home order, except it doesn't allow the recreation portion of it. You can go to the grocery store if you need to get something to eat, if you're going to and from work, those kinds of things. And really the officers are going to look at this order the same that they looked at the safer at home. In essence, it's going to be through education and encouragement, getting people to understand that level of personal responsibility and stay home. We cannot have large gatherings of individuals that are going to take this virus back into their homes where they're living with individuals that can least afford to get it. So in essence, that's all we need is for individuals to realize their personal responsibility. The curfew is going to be from 9 p.m. to 5 in the morning. And you don't need to worry about enforcement if you're not out congregating in large groups. So that's the bottom line there. As far as the facial coverings, anything that you can put over, I said the fishing buffs. I saw a YouTube tutorial the other day where they took basically a handkerchief and cut a coffee filter in half, put the coffee filter in the middle of it, wrapped it around, got two large hair ties, and then folded the handkerchief over on either side and then held it on with the hair ties. Now, I know all that stuff looks easy in a video until you try to do it at home, but there are so many do-it-yourself masks out there. You can just use a piece of a t-shirt as well. Anything that is going to stop those droplets from going out and getting on other individuals. So whenever you're in close proximity with others, you're out at the grocery store, you're out at the pharmacy, any of those locations, wear some type of facial covering, whatever that is. Even pulling your shirt up over your face. You know, if you forgot a facial covering at home and you have to stop at the grocery store, something to prevent that transmission. And that transmission is usually through the saliva droplets.
One more question for clarification. Will people need to have a letter from their employer or some sort of pay stub when they're out and about if they're
No.
working past
You don't
9
have
o'clock?
to, no, you don't have to have any type of a pass or any type of a letter or anything like that for the curfew. Again, what we're trying to do here is flatten the curve. And the way to do that, what we've talked about all along, is that physical distancing to get individuals away from each other, physical distancing. So if you're driving down the street at night in your car by yourself, you're fine. If you've got, you know, a little Volkswagen Beetle and you've got 12 people in it, then that's a problem. Seriously, just pay attention. You need to stay 6 feet away from others and do everything that you can to disinfect common areas, and then cover your face whenever you're going to be out in the public. All right, that's it. Thank you very, very
you for
much,
having
Maggie.
me.
We really appreciate it, and thank you for all you do for those in our community that need help more than we could ever imagine in our day-to-day lives. So thank you, and God bless you. All right, thank you very much. Remember, text your pictures and your videos to hashtag HappyAtHomeTPA and at City of Tampa. Also, text, and I know everybody out there's done it, but make sure your entire family and all your friends have too. Text Tampa Ready or Tampa Lista to 888-777 for business information. Tampa Biz, B-I-Z, Tampa Biz, 888-777. All right, thank you guys very much. I can't wait to watch those videos at 6 o'clock.